Hello everyone, this is day 10 of 69 days of code. My name is Rajat Upadhyay, and today we are going to look into yet another interesting topic in software engineering called JWT. Okay, start. So let's do some coding today. All right, these are my hands. This is the keyboard. Let's do some coding. Okay, let's get serious. So today we're going to look into Json Web Tokens, okay, which is also called JWT. I think they are called JWTs, not really sometimes. So what are JWT? Full form is Json Web Tokens, okay. JWT are tokens that are sent across from the server to the client for authorization, authentication, and other data, security purposes. For example, if you are logging your users in, right, you have to store some sort of token in the front end, in the cookies, or in the local storage, however way you like it. So you need some tokens from the backend server, right? Some encrypted tokens that you can store in the front end. So these tokens that you can store in the front end for authentication and later on authorization, you can pass it along in APIs in the headers in all the protected routes. These are called tokens, and JWT is one of those sort of tokens, right? So JSON Web Token is very famous actually, and there are a few reasons for it. Okay, one reason is it's not like a normal hash that you do on SHA-1 or other sort of functionalities. It has different sort of it has different parts. It has a header part, it has a body part, it has a signature part, which we will look into, and each of them has its own significance, right? So we can define the type of algorithm that we want to use. We can also define the whole data object that we want to pass along, right, that we want to encrypt, and we can have access tokens and refresh tokens as well, right? So today we are going to look into basics of JSON Web Tokens, which are going to be very helpful for you in case you do such sort of things, creation of APIs, authorization, authentication in the front end, client side and server side. Okay. Again, in most basic terms, JWT is nothing but a token that is passed from the server side to the client side, stored on your browser, and then later on you can pass it along in the server side and verify it to verify the identity of the user who is trying to access your web application. Okay. I'm going to share my screen. So what I have over here is a very, very basic Express server. Okay. So we have our normal, you can say port 6969, right? We have it running over here, and we have a route slash, okay, hello. So let's just test it out really quick. Localhost, okay. So it is working. We get hello. Okay, let's jump forward. So what we are going to do is we are going to install a library called JSON Web Token, just like we do npm install Express, npm install body parser, and those sort of things. We are going to install npm install JSON Web Token, right? I already have installed it inside this particular project, so I'm not going to install it again, but you can run this particular command and it will install, right? JSON Web Token, JWT. And what we are going to do is we are going to start the server again, nodemon index, right? And we can fetch a JWT. So let's jump over back to the documentation. You can say JWT documentation, JWT Node.js, right? And if you want to learn more about, okay, if you want to learn more about JWT, right? If you want to learn it from scratch and everything, the basics, the real, what do you call it? The real basics, the real theory. You can go to jwt.io, I guess. It's jwt.io, right? JWT's official website, and you can learn it over there. It has a section called introduction, okay, where you can completely read it and get it. So we're going to require it like this, right? Where JWT is supposed to require. We are just going to say const JWT is equals to require JSON Web Token. Now focus here. The library's name is JSON Web Token, right? We are just giving it a short form of JWT, right? Don't confuse it. Don't try to write npm install JWT. No, npm install JSON Web Token, okay? So let's get into it, okay? I'm going to create a route. Now, what is JSON Web Token? We have looked into it. JSON Web Token is just a token that you're going to pass from the server to the front end. That token will be stored in the front end in the cookies or in the local storage and will be passed in the backend with every API call, so we can verify the identity of the user, right? So let's say that we are trying to log the user in. Okay, app.get slash login slash. I'm just going to pass the username and password right now in the query params. So I don't have to install body parser in order to parse the request body. Okay, I'm going to say const username comma password equal to rec.params, like this, console.log username comma password. Okay, very simple. And let's just say if username is equals to Matt and password is equals to dragon, return res.send success. Otherwise, we will return res.send failure. Very simple, nothing complex. This is an equal to, not single equal to. We're comparing here, right? Simple, very simple, right? So slash login slash username slash password. Let's go over here. Let's say slash login slash mat slash dragon failure. That was unexpected. Let's check mat and dragon. Okay, I have put a capital M over here. Success, right? And if I put something else, let's say false dragon failure. Okay, so it should be dragon. So this is the username, this is the password. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's encrypt it. Let's quickly get into it, encrypt it using JWT and create a token, and let's pass that token along in the front end. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are going to call jwt.sign, jwt.sign, and within these curly brackets, we are going to pass our object, right? So JWT has three parts. Okay, what does the JWT token look like? Let's go to JWT token, jwt.io. Okay, this is what a JWT token looks like. This is a sample JWT token. Okay, and you can see that there are two full stops, two dots, right? Two dots. There is some string before the dot, then there is a dot, then there is some string, and then there's another dot, and there is another string. So there are three parts to a JWT token. Okay, the first part is the header part. The header part contains information about JWT itself, right? So which algorithm was used to encrypt. So there are different encrypting algorithms, right? SHA-1, SHA-256, HS-256, and different sorts of algorithms. We are going to cover all these algorithms. What is encryption from basics on to advanced in some other video in the coming classes, in the coming videos. Okay, but today let's focus on JWT. So there are different algorithms for encryption, right? And type is JWT. So this header just contains information about JWT itself, right? Then there is the other part, which is the payload. Inside this payload comes your own information. What do you want to encode, right? Here, this person had decided that he will encode his name, John Doe. You can encode the email address, you can encode the username, you can encode anything, but do not encode anything which is very sensitive, right? Because if you encode something very sensitive, and if there is some sort of cross-site scripting attack and the hacker gets your user's token, right, then they will be able to decrypt it most probably, and they will be able to get that sensitive information like the password. So don't encrypt sensitive information, just encrypt information which is very necessary for the maintenance of that session, right? Like the username. Then there is a verify signature. So this part is used for verifying a signature, right? Like verifying that this token is actually the token that we generated, right? Using our secret key. Okay. So this is one part of it, right? This is how JWT token works, right? Now, what we are passing over here is within these curly brackets, right? What we are passing within these curly brackets is this payload, right? This payload name, right? Not this sub and IAT, right? IAT is when it was created, and there is another property called exp when it will expire that we'll look into. So right now, what we are passing is this property, right? Name. So what I'm going to pass is I'm going to pass the username. Username is Matt, like this, okay? And let me just quickly look into the code that I had written. Okay, and we'll need to pass after this closing curly bracket a comma, and then our secret token, right? The secret that we are going to use to encrypt this particular payload, right? So this secret should be with us all the time. What is the secret? The secret is like a string that is used as a base, right? As a key for this particular hash. Okay, and you can use it to decrypt it and encrypt it, right? And verify it. Most probably, most importantly, verify it. Okay. So let's keep the secret as Matt Cawthon, like this. Okay, this is our secret, and I'm going to say const token is equals to await. We don't need await, I guess. Okay, so what we are going to pass is we are going to pass an object back. Okay, with the message as success, and token as token. Done, boss. Okay, let's try it out. Let's refresh, and we get our token back, right? If you look at it properly, again, this is a JWT token. How can you say that? If you look at this, there is a dot, before dot there is a header, then there is a payload, and there is a verified signature, right? Okay, so this token, you can take it in the front and you can store it inside your browser local storage. You can store it inside a cookie. You can store it inside anywhere, right? Wherever you need inside your browser, and whenever you are making API calls, right, you can pass it along in the headers or wherever you like to pass it, and then you can verify the identity of the user who is accessing your application in the front end. Okay, so let's look into the next part, which is verifying, right? So let's say app.get/verify/token. So this time I'm going to pass a token in the query params, and I'm going to verify the token, right? You can have this as a utility function inside your own code, right? A separate function which you're going to call every time the user is trying to access a protected route. Okay, what we can do here is const verify. Okay, again I have to look at it once. Token decode, because decoded, decoded. Okay, well, let's check this. Const verify is equals to jwt.verify. Okay, you have to pass a token. So rec dot. Okay, let me just take the token out here. Const token is equals to rec.params. Okay, and you're going to pass the first argument as token and second argument as your secret. What is your secret? This is your secret, Matt Cawthon, right? Because you will need the secret to decode it, right? The secret that you use to encrypt the token, you will need that secret to decode the token or verify the token as well, right? That is why it's a secret, right? And you should not give it to anyone at all, right? Let's say console.log verify and say res.send verify. Whatever the result is, we are just sending it back. Okay, so let's copy this token. Okay, and I'm going to create another request, localhost 1669/verify/ the token that I copied. Send another request. Username Matt, I ate this. So you can see that the request, the payload that we passed has been decrypted, right? It has been decrypted and sent back to us, right? What if I change this token? Let me just remove a significant part of this token. Okay, I'll remove this part. Send it again. You can see there is an error over here, right? This is not sending it back. It is refreshing. So if you go to the console, see an error that unexpected token. Okay, the token was wrong. Token was not expected, right? So what we are going to do is this. We're going to go in here and we are going to put a try catch block. Try. Okay. And you can implement it whichever way you want. I'm just implementing it here only. And I'll say console.log token is incorrect. Okay. And instead of sending res.send verify, I'll say res.send token is incorrect. Same thing we are going to send back. Okay. So let's stop this. Let us. Okay. Refresh. Wow, I did not expect that. Verify is not defined. You know what? Let's define verify over here, because what is happening is we defined verify over here and then we were trying to access it over here, right? So it was giving us an error. Refresh. Okay. I deleted. Send it, token is incorrect, right? So I deleted some parts of the token and it is saying token is incorrect. Let me copy the token again, pass the real token again, and we get the decrypted data. So this is how you can use JWT tokens. This is very simple, right? IAT is a time when the token was created. Okay, so this is in milliseconds, a timestamp. Okay, don't get confused by this. Now the second thing is you can put in expiry time, right? The expiry time at which your token will expire. Okay, so I already have this code written over here. I'm just going to reference it a little bit. Okay. Okay, awesome. So what you have to do is you have to, inside this username itself, you have to mention another key exp. Okay, then you have to write the date dot now, whatever date is right now. Okay. Now, whenever we write date dot now, we are going to get the date in milliseconds. Okay, but we are not really comfortable handling milliseconds, right? But I'm comfortable handling seconds. Okay, so let's convert this into seconds by dividing by 1000. Okay, 1 second. Yes, by dividing by 1000. Okay, and then saying math.flow to round it off. Okay, and then now this is the number of seconds right now. Okay, so date dot now gives us a time right now in milliseconds, but date dot now divided by 1000 gives us a time right now in seconds. Okay, so this is a time right now in seconds. Now whatever we add after this, right, after this plus after this will be the time it will take for the token to expire. So if I leave it like this, the token will expire the time it was created, date.now. Token will expire right now. Okay, but if I add plus 60, the token will expire after 60 seconds. Okay, you get it? We are going to add time, the time that is right now while creating the token. To that, we are going to add some number of seconds, and that time will be the expiry time of the token. So if I add 20 seconds will be the expiry time of this token. Okay, so let's check it out really quick. So we are going to create a token again. Okay, I'm going to refresh my screen. Okay, token is created. Let me copy it. Okay, and paste it over here. Remember, 20 seconds is the time, right? Okay, it has given us a data back after decrypting, right? Refresh. It is giving us a data back. Once 20-second time is completed, this token will not exist anymore. This token will be invalid. Okay, token is incorrect. 20 seconds has already passed, right? So that is how it is working, right? So you can also define the expiry time, okay, and the username. You can also implement refresh tokens, okay, with access tokens. But now I'm not going to look into that right now, okay. If you want to look into refresh tokens, I'm going to provide the link over here in the review for this video. This person has implemented refresh token. I personally watched this video and learned JWT. Okay. The first link is for the official documentation of Json Web Tokens. Okay. And you can read the theory over there for Json Web Tokens and understand how it works from the scratch. Okay. Although it's almost similar to what I told you. Okay. Because I read it from there only. So this is how you can create a token and verify it, right? I'm just going to delete this one. And this code, this particular code, you will find it on GitHub on our repo, right? Which repo? This repo, 69 days of code, right? You're going to find the link for this down in the description box, so you can access that inside the code folder. Inside the D10 JWT, date and JWT, you will find the whole code over here. Okay, I will update it as soon as possible. Okay, and you can find the link for this in the description box. Also, you will find this README over there. So you can access these links and study JWT in depth, advanced, and everything. Okay. Also, in one of the coming videos, we are going to look into all of the encrypting algorithms. Okay. So we're going to look into SHA-1, SHA-256, how these things work. What is encryption basically, right? Why should we use it? And those hashing and everything. We are going to look into that in one of the coming videos. Okay. Probably the next video will be about Swagger documentation. What is Swagger documentation? How we can create a documentation of our own APIs, right? If you create the documentation of your own APIs of personal projects, if you are a college student, right, it will really help you, since it is very impressive when you tell it to your interviewer that you have created the Swagger documentation for your APIs. I was personally asked this question in some interviews, that whether have I created the Swagger documentation before or after creating my personal projects. Sadly, I did not create it at all, not before, not after. So that did not come along as a good review, right? So if you say that you have created a Swagger documentation, even if you don't ask it, right, just tell them, I also created Swagger documentation. I integrated it with the redoc for better visuals, right? So we are going to look into Swagger documentation and redoc in the coming video, which is day 11, I guess, of 69 days of code. If you want to contribute, you can contribute in the GitHub repo. Okay. And I'll see you next time.